Hello everyone. In this video, we will try to understand about Flask. Okay, we will try to learn Flask, and we're not going to, follow any tutorial or any website. We will try to chat with ChatGPT, and we will try to understand everything. Okay. So I said I think W3 school is best to learn basics of programming. It really goes step by step. Can you teach Flask like them? Okay. So yes, and your observation is correct. W3 works very well. It explains one song. Okay. So Flask tutorial. What is Flask? Flask is a small Python library used to make websites and web apps. Think like this: Python program runs on your computer. Flask app runs on server and shows output in a browser, right? So that means uh, Python program runs on my computer and Flask app runs on a server and shows output in a browser, right? Install Flask, open terminal, command prompt and run pip install Flask. Okay, and your first app.py, hello world app.py, and from Flask import Flask. Anyway, so what I'm going to do here, uh, okay, I will try to make, I have a folder in my Python, not projects, Python practice. Okay, so here I will do Flask, right? Flask. Inside this Flask I will create. Okay, so what I will do, here I will VS Code. I will open VS Code and Flask will be there. Oh shit. Anyway, one thing, Python practice, remove from workspace. Okay, and now we will open add folder in the workspace and Python practice Flask. Okay, so here we just I'm just deleting whatever I was doing, right? I was trying to learn you know Django. Now I'm trying to move into the Flask, right? So what I will do, here I have to install Flask, right? So here pip install Flask. So terminal, new terminal Flask, right? So now Python practice Flask, pip install Flask. Okay, so let's see what happens here. Collecting Flask, downloading, these are the things happening. Let's see what happens. Okay, we will try to ask questions one by one. So I will ask, here I've installed Flask. Okay, here I have, this is my way. My mood is in this, my mood is in this way to learn. Okay, so I'm just trying to at least explore. Okay, so let's see, I've installed Flask and okay, install and then create a file named app.py. So when we, anyway, if we see inside the Flask, nothing is there and we have to create a file. Okay, app.py. So let's say we will create app.py. Okay, we open the file and from Flask import Flask, write this code from Flask import Flask app.flask name app.route. So after installing Flask, nothing happened in the folder. So what I will do, copy this code and put it here. So Flask import Flask app Flask name app route deb home return hello Flask if name main app run. Okay, so what we will do, run the app in the same folder, run python.app.py, you will see something like this. And okay, so python app.py, let's see. This is a development server, do not use it in production deployment, use a production running on. Okay, so it's running on, press okay, copy anyway, let's see. You will see something like this, and open a browser and go to, so we will open this browser and let's see. uh, okay, so this site can't be reached, right? We will see the reason. Hello okay, anyway, so app run, start the server, app another page. Okay, so let's see. I will say that let's try it again. Nothing happens, right? So I will say I have copied and pasted the code, run in a browser, but site can't be reached. Okay, so good, you did something, everything correctly so far. This is very common first Flask problem, especially in Windows. Okay, python app.py, after running you exactly do this. What exactly did you see in the terminal? You should see something like this: serving Flask app debug warning, this is development of running on, you do not see running on. Okay, uh, okay, then Flask isn't running, then browser will fail. This try this exact run command imported in Windows. In PowerShell, run this instead. In PowerShell, okay, so in PowerShell we need to run this. uh, Anyway, m Flask run. Okay, okay, and now open the browser again. Very common mistake, file name or folder, make sure your name file name is app.py. So python practice di, you must see app.py in the list. Try binding to all interfaces, Windows fix app.py, last line like this. Run again. Anyway, if we just copy these and this, right? So we have to copy this and press Control plus C to quit. Control plus C. Okay. Plus, let's run dir. If we say dir, then what happens? Directory app.py. We have py cache here also. So what we will do, app.py, you must see app.py. Okay, so we saw app.py. Then PowerShell Python app.py. So we will run Python app.py. Wait a minute. Okay. So now we will do Python app.py, running on all addresses. New Windows option of this app. Windows different file has blocks. Mm, anyway, running on. So let's copy this and try, right? Hello Flask. So this is the thing happened. Okay, so we need to ask why we had to uh, provide these lines, and why in case of PowerShell we have to provide this. Okay, so if we see the, you see here we are so these are the confusions we will face, guys. Okay, so if we see, if we make another terminal, right, you see this is PowerShell or something. So anyway, so press Ctrl plus C to quit, Ctrl plus C to quit. Okay, so now why in case of PowerShell do we have to provide this, and mm, if name is main, and why this, right? Why did we provide? Okay, so our code was something different, but here we had to change this. So we just asked why we had to do it, right? Excellent question. This shows you are thinking like a programmer, not just copy pasting. I'll explain slowly, simply, and with real life analogies, W3 school style. Why Python and Flask run in PowerShell? Short answer, because PowerShell sometimes cannot find the Flask command directly, but Python can. What M means, very important. PowerShell M Flask. Hey Python, uh, run the Flask module that you install. Python starts Python M Flask, run Flask as a module. Run tell Flask to start the server. So Python becomes the middleman. Why not just Flask run? On many Windows systems, Python is installed, Flask is installed, but Flask is not added to path. So PowerShell says, I don't know what Flask is, but Python knows where Flask is. Okay, so Python M Flask run always works. This is why beginners are advised to use it. Real life analogy, think it like Flask run calling someone by name, Python M Flask run calling them through their boss, right? Okay, so if PowerShell can't find Flask, Python will. So why if name mean this is a pure Python, not Flask? Okay, what is okay? So every Python has a hidden variable. Python, this is the hidden variable, and if you run the file directly, name main, if another file imports is name becomes a file name, right? Okay, so we have to think about this. Okay, we just can't jump here. So this is a variable. If you run the file directly, name main, if another file imports it, name becomes the file name, right? Okay, so why do you use it? If name equals main app.run means run the server only if the file is executed directly. Okay, what problem does it solve? App.run, the server will start even when another Python file imports app.py. Flask tools import it internally. That causes multiple servers, port conflicts, strange errors. Okay, so real life analogy, think of app.py as a house. Running app.py directly, you live there. Importing app.py, you just visit. If name equals turn on lights only if live here. If I live here, when not when someone visits. Okay, so why host? Port 500, port 5000, Flask default door number. Browser knocks on the door. Okay, so host 00 means accepts connections from anywhere. This fixes Windows networking issues. 127.0.0.1 only local, 0.0.0 local plus net, especially helpful on Windows plus. Oh, it's a simple rule to remember for beginners. You always use if name equals main app.run host, okay, and run with Python, or if Flask doesn't start Python. You're learning the right way. You asked why it didn't blindly accept. Okay, so he's giving me some motivation. Okay, so let's see uh, if it's main, then okay. Mhm. Okay, so here we will ask from Flask import Flask. Let's ask, I have some question about this, okay, because we are new, we need to understand, right?